following program is brought to you by Zespo, the world's leader in gourmet vinegar.
Today's subject is a sexploitation crime drama commonly known as a roughie. Because the sex scenes are, well, pretty rough.
This is the one where all the sex is rape committed by an authority-abusing maniac, right?
Yep.
I am so excited!
If you're searching for some celluloid picture in particular, a certain slice of cinema that never left a signature, a long-forgotten bomb, a thing that never hit the theater, afraid you'll never find it now, but don't give up, it's premature. I'll put you on the pathway to a DVD distributor that's got the greatest chance of having hands on what you're looking for. They resurrect the long-neglected movie madness prisoner and bring them back to action from the silly to the sinister. They've got the right connections and the methods to administer to make your matinees as many cases their beginnings where they're known to be the first and foremost feature film or finisher. So grab yourself a glass and let's enjoy a taste of vinegar. We kick things off with... Hold on. There we go. We kick things off with this police officer watching Santa Claus's unexpectedly hot daughter seal a couple deals.
Why she's openly hooking with various customers 2 spaces in front of a squad car, I couldn't say.
After coming back from her second job, the officer saunters up and stops her, letting the John drive off without a care.
And if you so desire and cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed to you before questioning without charge. Do you understand each of these rights I have explained to you?
I understand.
Good. Do you understand why I've apparently arrested you and driven off without reading you your rights? Or why I've arrested you at all, since I apparently haven't gathered any evidence?
What's your name?
Linda.
You been busted before?
No.
It's a shame a thing like this can really screw up your life.
I really needed the money, you know.
You got a habit?
A what?
A habit, hooked on something, drugs.
Oh, no, not me.
Again, all of this feels like pre-arrest conversation.
So, this female is saying she's not currently on heroin.
I tell you what, give me a blowjob and I'll let you go.
Yep! That's what we're doing this movie!
What do you say?
I don't know what to say.
Oh, come on. What do you do with those other guys? You suck them off, you fuck them in the back seat, right? You'll get a better deal with me, sweetheart. For 30 minutes, I'll save you 30 days. And I'll even give my courtesy card. Get picked up again, it's a free ride.
Well, at least he's courteous.
And sometime around dawn, I guess, he pulls his car under a tree where he tells her to get undressed.
For a blowjob.
Then she blows him while he looks like Ray Liotta pouting because he didn't make the team. Then he changes the bargain and starts fucking her.
Yes, Enforcer! Take charge of the situation!
No, he does.
Just what I say and I'll let you go.
Yes, anything you want.
Then I'll give you my courtesy card and no cops will bother you.
Trust me! For some reason.
Get out! Move in front of the car. Sit down. In the dirt. Lay down. Roll around in the mud.
You mean like a pig?
Roll around like a dog.
Ah, right, that makes way more sense.
Now lay down in the mud and jerk off.
All right, what are we doing here?
Anyway, he tosses her clothes and tells her to find her own way back to town.
So, he doesn't keep the female prisoner? Or at least kill her?
Nope.
But she's seen his face. She must have seen his name and badge number. She could identify him to his brethren of the code.
Just hold that thought.
area of Fuller and Melrose. The female Caucasian has brown hair and brown eyes. 4 feet tall, 70 pounds, 8 years of age. She's wearing a pinky and blue striped dress. An elementary juvenile.
Did he just undress his car?
Didn't even hold it at gunpoint. We watch him switch some of his clothes around and then show up at what looks like the world's largest forgotten storage locker.
Hey, Eddie, where the hell have you been? You're late again, and I've been waiting to go home.
Hung up by the rain.
Oh, you're always hung up by something. You know, I suggest this weekend you get some rest, and you keep dragging your ass in here all pussy-whipped, tired out all the time, late constantly. And not only that, Mr. Douglas doesn't like it either.
And you don't want to piss him off. And if you didn't pick it up, he's not a real cop at all. He's a security officer.
Still a position of power. No plebeian scum could ever evade the might of his keen eye and iron fist.
He's protecting a giant junk drawer.
Don't ruin this for me.
Anyway, after work, he takes an introspective walk along the beach, searching for meaning in the monster he's become and perhaps a way to reform himself. Did someone say gun violence?
Yes, 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 yes.
You dirty little cop, you saw him again, didn't you? You've been fucking him all the time, haven't you? You lying motherfucker, I'm gonna give you another cut right in your belly. I'm just gonna slash it.
Well, that was the world's most convincing no. I'm gonna murder you at point-blank range. Yeah, you're right. I'll just get closer and gently swing at you.
And he missed.
Well, we don't know who this guy is, but I'll tell you right now, I respect a guy who appreciates the little victories.
How does he keep missing?
And within 1 second of going off screen, he was disarmed and killed with his own weapon.
Humans are the fucking worst.
Come in. Here it is, Lieutenant.
Sit down, Bob. Christ, hold on a second. Cable? Yeah? Yeah. All right, you hold him down and get down there. Hold him. Fine.
Is a scene going to happen?
Yeah, they just have to find it first.
Who questioned the whore?
Officer Anderson and Malone.
When they questioned her, was it Eiffel Tower or standard finger cuffs?
Yes, our lead rapist is not a real cop. But while investigating the prostitute's report of being assaulted by what she thought was a real cop,
All the rest are just too far off physically to fit the description.
which means there are a lot of rapey cops on this force, they're just not the rapey cop. This time.
She was promised a courtesy card from the officer, which she never received, and that was the only reason she was back on the streets. Well, you gotta give the little bastard credit. He's got a novel way to get his nuts off.
Yeah.
Did you really just compliment a hypothetical rapist in your precinct for abusing his authority?
Yes, Cable. Looks like we have a 911-9er. Unknown suspect impersonating a police officer. I suggest to Captain Marshall he advise all units to be on the alert and put on an APB.
Wait, When did you decide it's an impersonator? She said it was a cop, and you haven't done an investigation yet. But whatever, time to tune into Crazy Guy's inner monologue.
Hospital, the emergency department.
Nothing on that murder. She killed that guy and nothing's come down.
Well, you didn't fucking report it, so what the hell are you complaining about? How the hell are they gonna know about a murder that happened half a day ago if the only witness didn't tell anybody?
No matter what, she's a murderess. She should be caught and punished. No murderer should ever get away. I'll cool it for a while. They'll catch her. I'll just wait. Give them time.
What the fuck are you rambling about? If you're so concerned about this murder, fucking report it! You can't give them time to investigate a murder they don't fucking know about! By the way, who's up for a sensual massage?
You ever, been here before? No. I'm just a little tense.
You could say that again.
We got a special introductory massage. One girl, 15 minutes, $10.
Is that a good deal?
I don't know. I've never paid anyone to touch me.
If you'd rather, we got two girls nude. One specializes in French, and one specializes in Japanese. It's $30, and anything else you want, you arrange with the girl. $30. Huh? Take the 30.
No, I'll take the 30. You're the customer.
Before we get started, I have to ask you the big question.
What's that?
Are you now, or have you ever been a member of a law enforcement agency?
No.
Okay. Did you want more than just the massage?
How much is more?
50 more. For whatever you want.
Okay.
And yes, they just start blowing him because to hell with any kind of, massage-based build-up. Here's a question a bit more pressing than are you a cop? Where has your dick been the past month?
Wait! The enforcer is a rapist.
Yeah?
Why is he paying for sex?
And after his way too long and utterly pointless table sex?
That'll be $80, sir.
Sure. You and those two girls are under arrest.
What the hell are you talking about?
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
That's bullshit. They asked you if you was a cop and you said no. That's entrapment. I know my rights.
No you don't.
Look, officer, I don't want no trouble.
Well, you've got it. Now get those girls dressed and ready. I'm calling a wagon.
I want you and those girls ready to be arrested by the time I finish my line. Naturally, he's really just using the moment to skip on the bill, but it makes you realize when he went inside, he already had the light bar on his car, meaning it's decked out in police mode, so lucky for him, nobody at the parlor saw him get out of it, or even noticed the cop car parked outside.
Still nothing. They haven't caught her yet. It's been over 11 hours. What the hell is wrong with those cops?
Maybe you should go talk to them.
Somebody else must have heard those shots. If they'd have let me on the force, I sure as hell would be over there. I'd find the fucking body. I'd lock that cunt up for life.
1. If you were on the force, it's unlikely you would have been there to witness the crime. 2. You are a witness who made no statement. Why assume any other witnesses would make a statement? 3. Being a cop doesn't make you a judge. You wouldn't be allowed to sentence anyone. 4. Maybe being a gigantic raging idiot is why they didn't let you join the force.
They said I'm too short for the force, right? And all those big, smart guys can't figure out what the fuck's going on.
What am I thinking? Being a power-hungry dumbass isn't a deal breaker. He just wasn't tall enough. He then has a dream about arresting the woman at the beach house, and this inspires him to go back to the scene.
Look at that. She murdered some guy this morning, and she's sucking some guy off tonight.
That's right. It was pitch black a scene ago, and then he slept, and now it looks like maybe an hour before dawn. So it's clearly the same day.
Daylight continuity is for the weak.
She'd have had a lot of trouble moving him herself. That's it. She had help, and this is the guy who helped her. Now she's paying him back. Of course, that's it. So I'll call the cops. I'll turn them in, and they'll know what a bunch of fools they've been.
Great idea. Call the cops now after the crime scene's cleaned up and report that you're peeping. That'll make everyone who's not you look really fucking silly.
Hey, maybe they won't admit it. Maybe they'll say they knew it all the time and they were just waiting for her to make a move. And they'll put me in the background. They'll tell the papers I interfered with the case, and they'll lie to get credit for the bust.
So you don't even care about the homicide itself. You just want the ego boost.
I'm growing more confused as to why this man wasn't allowed to become an enforcer.
You and me both, buddy. So he decides not to call the cops, which I thought he already decided anyway, and he goes home to relax by, and I shit you not, watching porn.
I'm starting to think this man has some hang-ups.
Uh-huh. And it's on 8mm, so it's silent porn with dumpy 70s schmoes, and we have to watch it in real time with only the whir of the projector to keep us awake. Thankfully, Officer Sex Addict jacks off and passes out, and he has a dream about massage parlor sex with the killer, but when he comes, he starts choking and belting her. I guess it's a psychology thing. I mean, he's attracted to her. We have to assure the audience he's totally straight. He just also has some pretty deep issues and wants to take out his inferiority complex on people he deems weaker than himself. So, naturally, he dreams about slapping her pussy with a belt.
Sounds about right to me.
Anyway, time to hit the streets again. Only this time he heads right for his obsession's front door.
I was sent over by the department to ask you a few more questions about your husband's death.
I don't understand. I thought the case was closed.
Yeah, well, they changed their mind and it's open again.
If you'll excuse me, I'm going to talk to Lieutenant Cable.
Don't do that.
Careful, dude. Don't blow your cover.
Lieutenant Cable is off this case, and I'm in charge now.
All right. What is it that you want?
She's taking that gunpoint thing pretty well.
Well, must you keep pointing that thing at me?
I don't understand. Why would he voluntarily de-escalate the situation?
Well, don't forget, he's not a real cop.
Right.
You did kill him, didn't you? Why did you do it?
Probably something to do with him trying to shoot her first right in front of your face, you fucking lunatic.
I know what you are, and I know who you are, and lady, believe me, you're not going to get away with it. There's really no reason to be afraid of me.
Mood swing of the year, folks.
I feel like his ruse may be less convincing than he believes.
Where do you keep your liquor?
It's above the refrigerator.
Drink will calm you down.
She is downright docile, Officer Bipolarity.
I also feel like introducing alcohol to this situation might be a flawed strategy.
Since he's an idiot, the obvious thing happens, but he manages to catch up and regain control.
By taking her hostage, of course. Luckily, he leaves her alone with a phone, just long enough for her to...
Sorry. That is one of those things I always think I'm prepared for. But I never am.
Alright, so this is Crazy Guy dressed up as a prison matron to give his prisoner a bath. Did he have this outfit in his car? Does he wear it for his own kink? Is it to mess with his victim's head? Does he actually switch to a female caregiver personality in this getup?
And the answer to all of these questions is... it's none of our fucking business.
So Crazy Guy undresses her and puts her in the tub, giving her a bath she obviously doesn't want.
If she was willing to kill her previous abuser, why would she not fight back the instant this guy undid her restraints?
Because they wanted a bathtub scene.
She could bash his face against the tub if she wanted, or afterwards she could definitely get the best of him with his head between her legs.
But she just doesn't.
Weird.
She even remains motionless while he takes off the matron getup, another prime chance to blitz the wacko, allowing him to commence raping her in man form. It's just such a strange way to write the character. You'd think the climax would be that he's going up against a woman who's proven capable to fight against male oppressors and they have an actual battle of some sort, but she kills one abuser in self-defense, then just lets another do whatever he wants. Doesn't really work. Anyway, after he rapes her, he returns once more in cop mode.
Your trial will be starting in a few days now.
What are you talking about?
You've been accused of murder. You have to stand trial.
Crazy Guy? I think what you meant was charged with murder. Probably gonna want to brush up on your legalese if you're gonna use law enforcement as your psycho gimmick.
What I need right now is your written confession.
And since he doesn't know what a written confession is, he then attempts to beat said confession out of her with his belt. So dream come true, I guess. She does admit to the killing to get the torture to stop.
Works every time.
Right.
And as soon as his back is turned, she goes for the gun he left on the floor.
Because he's a fucking idiot. Also, I did not edit this.
I don't know why there's this weird cut when he gets shot in the back. I don't know why he's clutching his shoulder like he was shot in the front or as if the bullet went clear through him. And I don't know why he just runs away full tilt like he wasn't just shot in the back. Maybe they couldn't afford a squib, so they just did this bit as fast as they could to try to mask the fact that there was no wound. Oh, my mistake. They did give him a wound. Eventually.
Hello? Yeah, can I speak to Lieutenant Cable? It's an emergency.
Hey, look at that cop car. It's got a black top and doesn't have police plates. It's got to be the guy on the ATV. It's Unit 85. Unit 85. RE, the 911-9er.
Would you fucking go?
And while those cops do nothing, the lieutenant shows up at the beach house to meet Girl in Beach House. No. Really.
Oh, gee. Oh, thank God you're here. Somehow we found out we moved the body.
Let's talk about it inside. Come on.
So she was a cheating whore, just as the slain man had claimed.
If your domestic partner is insecure to the point of acting out life-threatening violence, wouldn't you?
My species doesn't have sex, making me morally superior to your romantic complexities by default.
I think you just like victim blaming.
I can do both.
Now get ready for the big finish, a car chase headed for this LA community. Note the white arrow. And after an insert, oh look, the white arrow. Then they've turned around and after an insert, oh look. Then he finally makes it to the fresher blacktop of the village and after an insert, oh look.
And after an insert, oh look! Then he makes it to the fresher blacktop, and after an insert, oh look! Then he makes it to the blacktop, and just as he's about to reach the village, he passes out from blood loss, and oh look, his dead body parks the car at the White Arrow! I bet these cops feel like fucking idiots for chasing him that whole time, since his car was stopped exactly where they were parked in the first place!
Where did the second enforcement vehicle come from?
They don't explain that, and it totally wrecks my immersion. But hey, after the real police close the case...
He's dead. Son of a bitch is dead.
The final shot really brings the whole movie together.
The hell was all that?
Cinematic brilliance! So I think it's fair to say that half of this movie is an interesting watch, and the other half is watching a horrible little man have an awful lot of non-consensual, mediocre sex. Ignoring that part, you've got the premise of a man driven mad by decades of rejection in every aspect of his life who explodes in a psychotic fury attempting to prove his dominance over society as a whole. That is actually a pretty tragic concept, and even though he's the villain, it could lead to a darkly compelling, maybe even sympathetic story. I'm also torn on the fact that between seeing her husband die and watching Crazy Guy confront her, we don't learn a thing about what's going on with this murder case. She doesn't even get a fucking name. She just happens to be in a relationship with a lieutenant who just happens to be willing to stage a suicide to protect her, and they just drop this on us in an exposition dump instead of making it part of the narrative. Now, on one hand, that's kind of interesting, since it keeps the story focused on Crazy Guy's unraveling mental state. But on the other, if we'd known she and her lover were putting in work to cover up what happened before Crazy Guy came after her, the dramatic irony might have helped fill out the tension and desperation of the final conflict. Having him take out his rage in the form of raping vulnerable women makes sense, but it doesn't need to be pornographic. In fact, extensive sex scenes of rape is kind of weird. But instead of just complaining about the police not arresting her, he should have tried to direct them toward the killing, the police brush him off as a wannabe, and he ends up murdering one or two for being the real losers who don't deserve the badge. Then, not only could she shoot him in the shoulder to defend herself, the other real cops could get a semblance of revenge by gunning him down in an actual climax.
I agree. Guys named Eddie deserve far more violent deaths.
That's right, Crazy Guy's name is Eddie. We've been going about this entirely the wrong way. It's Crazy Eddie, and he's got all of your toxic masculinity needs. Short man syndrome, victim blaming, generalized misogyny, and so much more. Shop around, find the nicest girls in town, bring him to Crazy Eddie, and he'll beat them. So go to vinegarsyndrome.com now and order your copy of A Climax of Blue Power. Remember, this movie is so rough, it's insane.
Zaspo, the best is now.